My guest needs no introduction today, but this person is literally a Norwalk legend. This person is on my podcast, and we are having a great moment because of it. Seriously, it's the one, the only Tomar Joseph is on the Productive Conversations podcast. Tomar, my great old buddy, how have you been, man? It's great to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Nah, I appreciate you for having me, Matt. And yeah, I just been good, man. Just living life, traveling, just enjoying, even though we're in a pandemic, but I just been able to just travel a little bit, just explore life a little bit more. And just like, just been around, just doing new things in life and just trying to explore more, coming from a small
Absolutely.
city like Norwalk is definitely good to get out and experience the world.
Exactly. I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Norwalk's a great place to play at your seat, but it's time to grow out and see what else is out there. Where are you? Are you in Norwalk right now? Where are you down there?
Currently I'm down in Atlanta right now. So
Atlanta.
yeah.
Talk to me about that. How long have you been in Atlanta?
So I've been in Atlanta for about what I came down here in July.
All
No, no, no,
right.
no, 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 no. Not July. It was May. May. I moved down here.
May.
I moved down here in May. Um,
Yo, really
so,
awesome.
but it was like back and forth. Like I was still coming back between Atlanta and Connecticut, and
Hmm.
then July was actually like when I finished like doing everything, and I finally like, all right, I'm down here for good now. Stopped all the back and forth stuff. So yeah.
How about that, dude? Tell me. Why don't we talk right away? Tell me about like some of the real culture shocks you've gotten from moving to Atlanta, about being up in the Northeast and coming down to the South, in a big city in the South. What are like some of the real big differences from the two areas?
Um, I want to say Atlanta people are a little bit more nicer, kind of, but
Hmm.
it's customer service out here sucks. One, two, it's a little slower pace.
Hmm.
Um, three, it's a lot more opportunity. It's a lot more opportunity, especially with like young African American males and women in general.
Hmm.
It's a great city to move to if you're young. You're just trying to explore yourself, whether that be through entrepreneurial route or if you're looking to get into one of these new corporate companies that are up and coming.
Yeah,
Just like it's better opportunity. And for me, I've seen that it's just better opportunity for me rather than staying up in the Northeast. It's almost like I feel like the Northeast is like a gatekeeping system
hmm,
with like corporate jobs and stuff like that, or even like just trying
definitely.
to get into certain companies. It's like a gatekeeping thing. You got to know somebody to get in.
Hmm.
You got to know somebody to know somebody. And it's like Atlanta. It's like, as long as you can show that you can do the work and you can actually like, just be available and just like show that your work ethic. It's like for me, I think I've done better with that and just having a better opportunity as well as like just being able to explore myself and just use my education as a source. Because like in the Northeast, we come from like one of the smartest areas in the country, so it's like
Definitely.
everyone has a bachelor's, everyone has a master's, so it's like you got to find out a way to differentiate yourself. So, and I feel like going down south is like a way that is like it was easier.
Yeah, like the vibe I get is like you could really make a name for yourself down in Atlanta. Like you don't have to, bow down to a certain system. You
Yeah,
you could really make your own brand, and I hear that. And I know, and another thing I know about Atlanta is like big into movies, television, huge industry down there. The stuff Tyler Perry's doing. I know a lot of Marvel stuff has been
yeah,
shot down there. A lot of young
yep.
filmmakers heading over. Donald Glover's Atlanta, one of the best shows of all time. That's shot over there. You really must feel like you're in a special place for this whole country, don't you? Like a real
Yeah.
up and coming
It's an up and
area.
coming place that it's like a place where you know if you really want to get yourself up and coming, whatever industry you want to get yourself into, whether that be business, like I said, the entrepreneurial role, or if you want to do acting, any type of media, nightlife, like you can really you can get yourself out and about in here, and then you could just really blow up and do things that are different from your regular norm from like being from a small city. Even though we're so close to the city, we have so much access to like media companies and
Hmm.
being at having like New York at our background as like a backyard to our disposal for us like coming from Connecticut. But it's just like um people are just, I feel like people in Atlanta are just way more friendly, and they're willing to like network more than people in New York, or like
Yeah.
just the Northeast in general. I feel like, it's not fake out here, but it's like, people in Atlanta are not going to treat you like, oh, you don't know who you are. So like, they're going to treat you all right, because you know what I'm saying, they don't know who you are, and you may be somebody, they just don't know who you are yet, so they're not going to come off as disrespectful and not want to, you know what I'm saying, not want to
Yeah.
help you, or because they really don't know who you are, so they'll help you out with just for that simple fact that I don't know this person yet, but he still might be somebody, so let me just put my best foot forward and see what'll happen. It's more of that down there than it is like than you would say up here um in Connecticut and like New York in general. Cause it's like I struggled like being in Connecticut. It was hard. It was just like, but I had decent jobs. It was just like coming out of college, it was just like, you get that culture shock where you get that shock where you think like, all right, I got my degree now. Like I'm about to go out and make like 60K to this 80K with a bachelor's degree. And that's just like it's a complete like, yeah, no, like who told you that? Like, and you're like, well, the college sheet said if I get a bachelor's degree, it says I should be making 60K my first year out, and every job is just offering you like 35, 40, 45. It's like, well, like, damn, like, what is this? And you just like, you kind of shocked about it. And you realize that you got to do more to get more. And you're just like, fuck that. Cause that's one thing I hated about working at one of my old jobs. I was just like, they really wanted us to do more just to get ahead. And I'm just like, you guys aren't paying this shit. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm about to keep busting my ass for bullshit pay. And that's like, I think I learned that. I was like, yeah, I got to get up out of here. It's just like, figured out like, yo, I got to take a chance. I got to get up out of here. I have me and my business partners, we ran an Airbnb service down in Atlanta. So that's what kind of sparked me to move down there, and just like, all right, let's figure out like what else I can do besides this Airbnb thing, and figure it and just get it going.
Look at that, man. I really admire what you did, Tomar. You got a lot of respect for me. You knew how to make lemons out of lemonade, and that's always admirable. And sometimes something doesn't work, you do have to fix it. And I appreciate you actually, putting money where your mouth is and looking for a better place than just be another complainer up here. As
Yeah,
we have plenty of it.
we've been from Connecticut. We always hear, "Oh, I hate being from here. I hate that I'm here." I'm like, yo, bro, you're not shackled to this place. Like,
Yeah.
you can get up and go. Like, there's nothing. There's like, even if you have to like, you got to struggle for a few months when you move to the new place that you moved to. Okay, so what? But like, suck it up. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like I'm not the type to hear like I hate hearing, oh, I hate being from here. It sucks being in from. It doesn't suck. People don't understand that Connecticut really does have a lot of great values to it. We have New York literally in our backyard,
Yep.
as well as Boston, two great media cities, and like just a lot of major cities, things like that happen between where we're from. So it's like you can run into something, or you can get into things that will propel your career. It's just that you got to be about it, and then it's like even if you're still being about it and you just can't find nothing, that's okay. It's like just don't give up and start bitching and moaning and like,
Definitely.
oh, nothing's working for me. Like, I went through that phase too, where it's like when I got out of college, I kind of got into depression because no one tells you about like, after school, like, when you always have this camaraderie amongst you and your friends where it's like you always feel like people are supporting you and they're on your back. And then like when you get out of school, it's like you got to figure it out. You got your parents hounding you now, like, all right, so
Yep.
what are you doing? What did you get this degree for? What are you doing? Like, what are you about to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm Haitian, so like my parents are big on education. And so like when it came to like that stuff, and I got out of school and like I'm trying to get a job, and like my parents are like, it took me like I think like a month or two to get a job after school.
Right.
And I think the worst thing I did was I took a job that I didn't really care for. And that drove my depression a little bit, where it was like it was driving me crazy because I hated that job so much, and I know I didn't want to be working there, and I didn't, and I stayed there, and I was just like, all right, fuck it, like it is what it is. But I hated working there every day. I hated getting up in the morning. It started to get hard to get up in the morning just to go to work. So it was just like, I didn't want to be one of those people that ended up being like 10, 15 years down the line, I'm still at this job and I fucking hate it. And
Yeah.
I'm telling everybody, oh, I fucking hate this place. I hate my life. I hate this job. Like, I didn't want to be that person. And I always said like, oh, I don't want to be this person that acts like that. And so like, it just came to me. And it was just like, I had a few conversations with my brothers, who both live out of state. And then at the time. And then the same thing with like a few of my friends who were living out of state at the time. It's like, they're like, yo, just go for it. Honestly, you don't got to worry about nothing. It's like, if anything you fall on your ass, like you can still go to your parents. I can still reach out to my parents and be like, I'm struggling. I need some
Yeah,
help. They would still help me. You know what I mean? So it's
of
like,
course.
I think some people, and granted, some people don't have that type of, like, you know what I'm saying, support system. Where they can
Mhm.
always count on their parents or whoever the case may be. They don't have that support system. If you don't, I, I don't, I can't give advice on that. But for those who do have that support system that they can fall back, and like if they ever do fall into hard times, they can have people help them out and get them back on track. I would say go for your dreams and like just go 100 miles and go 100 miles an hour. And if you crash, you crash. Just get up. You know,
Yeah,
no crash is too bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's always gonna be ups and downs in life. So it's just like, get up and keep it pushing, because I, there's gonna be shit, like you said, there's gonna be lemons. You better learn how to make lemonade out of these
right.
situations, because not everything's perfect, and everyone comes from different circumstances and backgrounds and stuff. But you just gotta learn to keep persevering and fighting through. And I think that's one thing I learned when I started going to see a therapist.
Mhm.
Um, she's just telling me, like, you're not in a bad space. You're actually doing pretty much better than a lot of people in your age range, and like just in general, you're doing a lot better. But to me, it was just like I wasn't satisfied with what I was doing, and I think that was causing an issue for me personally, where I was just like, I know I should be better somewhere and doing something more. But it was just like, you got to kind of find yourself in these places and in these circumstances. You just got to find yourself and force yourself to do more. And so you start to see more from yourself. But if you just like you said, you just be negative about everything, and you're just always bitching and moaning, like, oh, shit is not going my way for me. This is that. Like, oh, life is hard. Yeah, life is hard, but like you got to just get up and just like brush it off and like keep it pushing, because no one cares at the end of the day. Like,
Literally.
no one cares. Like, when it comes down to it, as much as it sucks, like, and we try to say, oh, we're here for people, and we always like we love people, and we like, you can always love people, but it's like when it comes down to it, everyone has their own life. You got to wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror every day and just realize, like, what am I doing today that's going to make me a little bit better than what I was yesterday? If you spend the same 24 hours not getting better every day, you're going to start seeing the fruits of your labor. What you put in is what you get out.
Mhm.
As same thing with sports, and the same thing with life. What you put into the game is what you're going to get out of life, regardless of what you do. You can go, if you go every day without doing nothing, you're not going to get nothing back from life. If you go out in the world and you try to actually produce something, do something with yourself, you're going to get it back eventually. It doesn't, like, I always try to tell people, like, it doesn't take like 100,000 people for you to blow up. You just need one person to believe in you. If that
Yeah.
one person believes in you, it turns into two, then two to three, four, five, six, seven. Then you get to that 100,000. But you just always need one person. So I think when people, or like, just for people to understand it, it's just like, you kind of have to be a little, not cutthroat with yourself, but you got, especially for males, and it sounds toxic, but it's like you just got to learn to just push it off and just like keep it pushing. And it's like you
Yeah.
got to learn to just put the emotions to the side and just like, just hunker down and get it done. Because at the end of the day, you don't get it done, someone else is gonna get it done, and you just wasting time. So I feel like, just doing these things that I've learned to do, and just like just my life experience since like graduating high school just kind of just showed me, like, yo, like, anything is possible. Like, there's people that that wake up every day and hate what they're doing. It's like, I just didn't want to be that person. Like, we had teachers that they hated teaching us every day.
Oh my
You know
God.
what I'm saying? Like,
Especially as we get older,
you
he
know
was
what
like,
I'm
wow.
saying? You start to realize, like, yo, they really it wasn't them. It's not their fault. They just hated this shit because they got trapped into it. Whatever the circumstances that life drove them to be in, these circumstances, they got drove into it, and then they ended up hating this shit. And it's like they kind of took it out on us. But it's like I realized, like, I just don't want to be that person that I hate the shit that I'm doing, and then I take it out on other people, and nobody wants to be around me. People don't want to be cool with me, just like, because that bad negative energy, no one wants to be around that bad negative energy. So like,
Especially nowadays.
yeah, like, you know what I mean? So today is it's like, not in today's society, it's just like energies that you get around from people is just like, it's really important of protecting your peace and just protecting your energy, because certain things that will come into your life, and you just like, if you exhaust bad energy out, it'll it'll just like tear you apart. I always try to, I was telling my girlfriend this the other day, I was just like, yo, like, anger is such a waste of an emotion.
It really is.
Like
makes you make the wrong decisions a lot of the
yeah, a
times.
lot of the time, like people will say, "Oh, I was just mad." Now that, but you was just mad, like, but you just blew a whole situation out of proportion because you was mad, and now you fucked yourself up. You don't burn the bridge, or now you in trouble with some shit, or it's just like anger is just a waste of an emotion, and you waste so much time being angry that there's always a solution. I always think about it like, all right, someone did me wrong, that's cool, like, but what's the solution to figuring out that all right, either I'm not gonna fuck with you again, or it's just like, you know what, I got to figure out a solution to better myself in this situation, so at the end of the day I don't lose, because it's a lesson. You know what I'm saying? There's things that
Oh,
just,
yeah, definitely.
yeah, you know what I mean? So like letting anger not get control of you, or just having anger built up, that's like that's like an aspect that a lot of people just got to learn to let go of. Like a lot of anger that we just like, we're built up with a lot of rage and anger because like we're not where we're at, where we want to be in life, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely not where I want to be at yet, but I'm definitely getting there, and eventually soon I'll be there. But it's like, having that positive mindset and outlook on life is just like where I'm at now. Like basically, it's like, and just a lot of these new things that we do, just for me myself, with just like a little bit of meditation and just like just trying to stay grounded a lot, is basically what I'm like, what I do now, like just to just to stay level headed, because there are times where the job gets you frustrated, where you're like, fuck this job, like I
Oh,
hate this
yeah.
shit. You know what I mean? Like, of course, like my
More
day,
than once, Tomar.
you
Oh
know,
my God.
my day job is cool now. Like I like my day job, you know what I'm saying? But like there's times I'm like, yo, fuck this job. Like I hate this shit. But it's
Yep.
like, you know what, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? It's a cool gig. And it's like, the people I work with are really nice people. They don't never mean bad. Like, we all get frustrated because it's like, it's a shit show in our office sometimes. So it's like, and it's not our fault. So it's like, you know what? We can't be mad at each other. It's like, it's literally, we cannot take out our frustrations on each other. So having that anger, frustration, or like any type of bad ill will or resentment,
Yeah.
it's like, it's not something that's like, I think that holds a lot of people back from them getting to where they want to be. It's just like they took a small, minute situation and blew it out of proportion and just made it so much bigger than what it was.
Absolutely. And another thing to add on to what you're saying, and an emotion that I have to remind myself every day for it, but one emotion to take out is also being cynical and being jealous of others who may be in another spot. And then I realized that there was a point where, and you said it perfectly, is wasting time. Like, okay, this world, it's so true. This is an unforgiving world where people who work hard will never get what they deserve, and the people who don't deserve things will get what they want. And I feel that's just a hard fucking reality, but there's no reason to, hate it. There's no reason to, as you said, be angry, and having a chip on your shoulder in an unhealthy way. I think there's something to having a healthy ego and a chip on your shoulder, to believe in yourself, to have genuine confidence in what you're doing and what you're pursuing. But don't, on the other side, don't use it to, hold grudges, pity others, pity yourself. Because if you ask nicely, the world's still not going to change for you. So you need to adapt to your environment and change for it. And there's no reason why you can't do it in this world.
Exactly. There's, look at Instagram. Everybody's on Instagram is rich as shit. But
Yeah.
if we tap into these bank accounts, they showing $100, $10, $15. You know what I mean? It's not Instagram. I feel like in social media is fucked up. A lot
Oh,
of
absolutely.
representation of what life is. Like you got kids like literally now just going commit, like just go crazy over this Instagram shit, where it's like you got kids crying over not getting 100 likes on Instagram. It's like, bro, you don't even know 100 people.
Yeah,
You know
right?
what I'm saying? Like you don't even know these 100 people. Like, but it's like you're crying because you don't get 100 or 1,000 likes on Instagram. You don't have 1,000 followers, or like whatever the case may be, where everybody needs a whole bunch of followers and just be a big presence on social media. But it's like, these people they're not rich. They still work regular day jobs. Like
Yeah.
a lot of them still go to their regular day jobs. A lot of them still live with their mom and dad. A lot of them still drive a hoopty. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, yes.
it's not it's like you said, it's just like that whole like being a little jealous of people and like what they have. But it's like, what I've learned is like, you don't know what people go through to get to what they have, or you don't know what they have to go through to live this type of lifestyle. You don't know that they actually are probably hating themselves deep down, that they even doing this just to show off to 100,000 people that they're happy every day, but deep down they hate themselves. So it's like you don't. It's like we can't all be like. For me, it's like I just say, it's like, yo, what you eat don't make me shit. So I can't worry about what's on your plate. Because if I'm worried about what's on your plate, I'm never gonna eat. And I think a lot of people need to get out this mindset of like they always looking at what the next person has. Like, oh, this person right next to me, he has a $100,000 Beamer and all this nice shit, and then the next person over down the line has the same thing. No, they're doing better. It's just like, yeah, bro, relax. Your time is gonna come. Whether that comes when you turn 25, 26, 30, 40, your time will come. You know, and if that's what you're looking for to base life off of is money and, you know, materialistic things, like you're gonna be searching that for a while. I think after it comes to a certain point in time where you just kind of look for internal happiness, where you're just like, all right, I'm cool with doing these things and I'm cool with getting to this place and I want to grow into this and do more with myself. So like me and Mark Liraboris, we're still friends to this day. We do InformStats together. He's the CEO of InformStats. And
pulling off some great stuff with that.
Yeah, so we're a sports tech company. Mark brought me along. And I do more business development side of it, creating new relationships with people. But it's like I could look at it whereas I'm like, Mark's the CEO, I'll never be CEO, and I'm jealous that he's CEO. But it's like, no, like, yo, my friend brought me on. He put me into a position to win, and now we just winning together. And it's like we had a conversation a long time ago where it's just like, yo, we're friends. We've been friends our whole lives. Like, all right, let's figure out a way so that, like, you know, our friendship isn't a waste. And sometimes people like, and they like, what do you mean, like, our friendship isn't a waste? And it was like, why would I spend all these adult years with you? I made a whole bunch of childhood memories with you. Now we're in our adult years. Let's make some adult decisions and adult memories where we'll be able to benefit and improve our lifestyle and improve our next generation, our family's lifestyles. So it was just like we've always just talk about new business plans and just new things that we can do together to advance ourselves and advance our family and our next generation. So it was like, you know, when you kind of look at that aspect of I'm doing this for my next generation, my next of kin, that motivates you in a different way, where the whole jealousy aspect of how you look at other people, it simply does go away, because you have people in your circle that are telling you like, yo, we're not doing it for us, we're doing it for the next. So when you keep looking at it like, oh, I'm just doing this for me, it becomes like an overzealous thing, a jealousy thing, where you're always like, oh, I need to do it for me. I need it for me. I need it for I, instead of like looking at it, I need this for we. Like, I want to do this for me. I mean, I want to do this for us. I want to make sure that my next generation is okay, and then they're going to be all set. So when people get that aspect in their life in order, not I won't even say in order, but when they get that just that notion of knowing, like, you know, I'm out here trying to grind for the next generation, for my kids that eventually I'll have. And if not, like, if my brother's kids or Mark's kids or whoever has kids like that's connected to me, I just want to make sure the next generation that's after me has something left off, because, you know, too many times where it's like we just do all this stuff and then nothing's passed down, like, but your name. But like,
right,
well, okay, so what? Your name don't mean shit. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone's got a name. So it's like, what else are you passing down to the next generation? What's the next thing that you got? What are you leaving behind? What legacy are you leaving behind? Like, what impact have you made for the next generation, or for someone that's like close to you, that's younger than you? What are you doing to help build them up? What are you trying to do to just make yourself a better person and make the world a better place than what we found it? And, like, you know, so that's kind of how, like, I look at stuff now. It's like I'm just looking at it as a place where it's like, you know, it's not nothing to be jealous about. We all breathe the same, we all bleed the same. So it's like there's nothing for me to be jealous about. You know what I'm saying? We got the same 24 hours. Eventually our clock stops. What are you gonna do between them dash line? You know what I'm saying? I was born in 95. I'm trying to live up my dash, man. So whenever that croak or whatever, knock on wood, but from 1995 to whenever that dash, I'm trying to fill it up with memories and just a lot of impact. That's basically, you know, I think once people realize that, we all gonna die someday. So it's like, you got to stop bullshitting and stop being mean and stop being jealous and just stop being, like, you know, assholes to each other, because eventually we share this earth. So, like, you know, at the end of the day, we're gonna perish. So we might as well live in unison and try to just be better people in general.
Definitely. And we have to be like race horses, Tomar. A racehorse has his eyes covered and they just run straight.
Yeah, you
They're
got
just focusing on what they have to do. That's what we have to do with our aspirations and where we want to go. And thank you you're giving me gold right here. Solid advice on what you have to do or what you should do both personally and professionally. And at the end of the day, from whatever you get out of this conversation, whatever my listeners get out of this conversation, it's just being yourself and being your own brand. And then, as you said, most of all, it's passing it on, because no one wants to be, remembered as a selfish person. You want to remember to have a legacy, and giving other people opportunities, because that's all we strive for nowadays. All about opportunities,
Yeah, no, definitely.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you for that. And I would love to hear more about InformStats. Could you talk to me what you and Mark have been up to and your team in InformStats for the future of sports technology? And you could let my listeners know where we can find more information about your business and such.
Yeah. So I work with InformStats. I am one of the directors at
All right.
InformStats. Mark Liraboyce is our CEO. Diego Maello is our our CFO. And then there's Andrick Liraboyce. He's one of our other sports. I'm Andrick Bernadelle. I'm sorry. That's Mark's cousin. You're gonna kill me for this. But Andrick is also our other director. And then my younger brother Clifford is our he does our training, like he's a certified trainer. So
Great.
He's basically works with like trainers and athletes on a personal level. But basically what we do, man, is like we're introducing teams, coaches, trainers, individual athletes, individual sports complexes with our technology that we are able to provide. So currently right now, I even got a camera right here. I'll show you guys what the merch is.
Please
we got a little video camera. You guys put in the camera. It's our video camera. So this is our AI camera. It covers the full field, 180 pan. So you don't miss anything on the field. Like if you look at old highlight tapes from like whatever, even mine, there's plays where I'd be playing running back and I would run out of the camera because the cameraman can't pan fast enough or whatever. And so you miss plays and stuff like that. Or like when the play's happening, the cameraman's pointing the camera down because he's trying to fix something or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just misses shit. And there's plays in the highlights or there's plays in the games that are missed due to the human error aspect of a cameraman. But with our camera, it negates all human error. So basically with this camera, what we'll do is we'll cover the whole field. It tracks the ball, whether it be a soccer ball, football, lacrosse ball, field hockey ball. What other sports that we done on land? There's this new sport that we tried. I forgot what it was called. Damn. But Mark, hold on, I'm so bad.
You're good. You can take your time.
You gotta edit this part.
No worries, I got you. Hey, I pay for these Zooms, man. You could take as long time as you want. It's easy fix. So you can just find it real quick.
But what was this company called that we just started working with them over the summer, which is cool because they're a new type of they were a new type of sports that they're who's in it? Because they came to Norwalk. They did a session in Norwalk too.
So completely new game.
Yeah, it's a completely new game that hasn't been made up. Yeah, they just started playing it. It was called
Is it like a mix of football and like
Tribal?
Soccer?
Have you ever heard of Tribal?
Actually, I've heard the word said before.
Yeah, so
elaborate on it for us.
Tribal is a sport, or it's a mixture between soccer, basketball, football, and lacrosse.
Okay.
They use and rugby. They use like this giant rugby ball. I think it's about like your rugby ball is probably about this a little bit bigger than your average football, right? Theirs is probably about the size of a football. It's probably about the size of two footballs in like one rugby ball. It's very long.
Okay.
But the field play is almost, you have plays like football. You set picks like basketball, lacrosse. and then you gotta maintain like your field position like soccer.
Okay.
And rugby. So there's no offsides. They'll call you for offsides, and you know what I'm saying. So it's very different sport that we've just come accustomed to working with. But tribal is actually one of our new partners that we've been working with over the years.
All right.
So we
Congratulations.
work with we just did the Ohio State lacrosse showcase where
All
we
right.
went out to it was they did it at the NFL Hall of Fame, and
No
basically
way.
the weekend we just we worked with the state of Ohio's lacrosse association, and we just did the whole showcase for them. And then we worked with a few lacrosse teams that are private league teams that are travel. And then we also worked with this one league called Pylon, which is a 7-on-7 off-season football league.
Yep.
Top kids across the country go play in it. We worked with Cam Newton's team,
Okay.
DeMar Davis's team. Who else did we work with? CD from the
CD
Charles,
Lamb.
Charles Gardner from the Saints, the cornerback from the Saints.
Oh yes, yes.
So we worked with his team as well. And then basketball, we've done a lot of AAU events. So we're just basically working with teams and just providing camera quality. We do statistics and analytics that come with football, basketball, baseball, soccer. We just bring all technology sides into it. And then with Cliff, my little brother Cliff does, he brings in the training side of it, basically with all technology. Like we use this body scanner called Styku. What it does is it's a 3D scanner. It'll scan your full body, your composition, where you're at, right? So say you want to lose 30 pounds and you want to shape up whatever areas you want to shape up. The module that it comes up when it gives you that 3D module on the laptop, when it comes up, now you can go in and edit the body the way that you want it to look like. So you and your trainer can sit down and say, all right, I want inches off my waist right here. I want abs to come in this way. I want my body, the composition to be built in like this. What it'll do is now it'll tell you basically, all right, this is the plan that you have to follow. You could say you want to do this in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 15 days, whatever. It'll literally give you the whole algorithm and composition of what you need to do, what workouts you need to do, how many calories you need to burn, what type of foods you need to eat. It breaks all that stuff down in there, and it gives you full access to that and just letting you know basically this is what you need to do to get to this point in your body and get yourself to this peak performance that you want to be built at. So yeah, that's a little bit of the stuff that we do. We're very new. We've been in business for about 2 years now, and it's been very, very well. We've been doing very well with just what we've done. You know, some weekends I was traveling about I was at one point in 1 month I did 3 or 4 cities in 1 month, where we went to Dallas twice in 1 month. Then we went to Atlanta, and then we were in North Carolina. So yeah, it was like we've been all over the place. We've been down almost, I think we've been to we've covered all of the East Coast, I can tell you that. And then I think we've got at least 25 states in our backing that we've been to. We've been to events all over the country. The only place we haven't gone to out yet, the farthest we've gone out west was Texas. We haven't gone farther than Texas out west, but we're looking to venture off and go more out west. But yeah,
you guys obviously will get there.
Yeah.
You have a great ambition, and I love hearing my peers have been up to and like really making the most of entrepreneurship now, and making the most of an industry. Obviously, great athletes in high school, and going to the next level and showing what else is out there in the world of sports. And it's really cool that you still have that passion for it one way or the other. So I wanted to ask too, to add on to that, what are some of the real exciting moments? What are the most things that you're excited about moving forward with this, with InSports, with your industry? What are some things that you're really keen and looking forward to experience?
So, for me, it's mainly like I would say just closing out business deals. That's mainly where I kind of get my rush from, where I get my adrenaline rush from. That's where I personally, for me, that's where the I feel like that's where I fit myself in within the game. Like business is almost like it's a game. It's not a game, but it's almost like it is a game. You got to set up a strategy. You got to know, you know what I mean? You got to execute. You got to get into the field and you got to execute. So it's just like you make plays. You got to just me closing out a deal is me making a play, and that the team backs me up with that, and then that excites me mainly. Like if it's one part of the business that excites me, it's like getting new teams to try out our services is basically where, like, of course there's been like times where it's like at first we were hearing no's, but then when you start to see like there's teams that are taking us into full consideration, like say like when we go to a camp or something, right? Mm-hmm. And we'll tell kids individually, like, all right, yo, we're setting this up where you guys can be able to purchase your highlight tape for after the camp, show what you did, and you'll be able to see exactly what you need to improve on or whatever the case may be. The kids who don't purchase it when we first come in, you know what I'm saying? When they first get there and they're like, oh, no, I'm good, I don't need it. By the end of the time that they leave that camp, they're calling their parents, or their parents are like, nah, my kid needs it. I need to order this. I need it. Yeah. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, cool. And then it's also in the back of your head, and you just know where it's like, all right, what we used to struggle with is like, all right, is this a want or is this a need? So for some, it's just like some kids don't care. It's like, oh, I'm out here, I'm just playing the sport to play the sport. And then there's some kids who want to get to the next level. So it's hard. You got to just be able to differentiate yourself and get it from the point where kids are like, all right, we're not going to work with the kids who just, all right, I'm okay with being this is all right. I don't really care for it. We're looking to work with the kids that really want it and really need it, where they're just like, nah, I'm trying to get to the next level, whether that be Division 1, 2, or 3, it doesn't matter. Playing a collegiate sport at the next level is still a major accomplishment. I went to Western and I played D3. So it's like, there's not a lot of people that get to go to the next level, because regardless of whatever level you played at, every division in college, that kid that's on your team was the best kid on his team. He was the best kid. He was one of the top kids in his area, wherever he came from. He was one of the best kids in his city, in his state, and wherever. So it's just, whether that be Division 1, Division 2, or Division 3, it doesn't matter. The kids who come out of there, who go to those levels, they're all the best players in their city, respective states. They were one of the top, if not the top, one of the top, whatever the level it has to be. I know in Connecticut, a lot of the top kids that we have come out of school when I was in high school, a lot of them did go D3, a lot of them did go D2. A few went D1, but it was like a majority of us went about D3, D2 division, low Division 1. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter. It's just it's the want. And it's like the great thing now for us that we get to see is like, we still get to be around sports that we like and that we get to play. So like, some days it's hard to get up where it's cold and you got to go watch a youth game, or we got to go from like a high school game, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? It's just that love and passion that you still have for the game is something that, it drives us. So like specifically me with like football, that's my favorite sport. So I love going to all the football events. I became more passionate about soccer because we had to do soccer events. I'm like, oh, soccer's not a bad sport. I like the way they play.
It's really growing in this country, man. It really is.
Yeah, and like lacrosse, my little brothers always played lacrosse, so I've always been like a little fan of it. I never played myself, but lacrosse, I've always been somewhat of a fan of playing, watching lacrosse. Baseball, my little brother plays it now, so I got to be a fan of it. I don't know what's going on. Listen, if it wasn't for my little brother, I wouldn't understand. I wouldn't say I wouldn't understand baseball, but I wouldn't have followed it as much as I do now.
Baseball's getting better at marketing their sport for everyone too.
No, it is, because the thing is, what I've learned is I've been to a live baseball game. I went to a Mets game before. Mm-hmm. I saw Steven Strasburg pitch.
Yeah.
That actually made me realize, like, all right, actually baseball is not a bad sport. But I was like, I don't like watching baseball on TV, if that makes sense. I'd rather go to the stadium and watch the game. I feel like going to the stadium is it's more interactive with the fans.
Right.
And you get a better experience of the game rather than watching it on TV. I feel like watching it on TV is that's the reason why I've never liked baseball. Mm-hmm. Growing up was because I've never been to a game. I was just watching it on TV whenever it would come up on ESPN. It's like August or whatever after the finals are done. The only thing that's showing is baseball.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, so like, that's all I got.
That's all we got was baseball. So I used to hate baseball because of that. I'm like, this is so boring. But I went to a game, and then it changed my perspective on it. I was like, oh wow, yeah. No, actually, I think baseball is pretty much a dope sport. I really rock with baseball. And actually, what I like the most though out of all sports is hockey.
Hockey.
Yeah, coming like
Yeah, they had this big deal with TNT and ESPN. They just signed a major TV deal starting this season. It's going good. What made you get into hockey more?
I was watching I think it was Nashville versus the Flyers.
Mm-hmm.
One, they had PK. The Flyers had PK Subban at the
Yeah.
time. That was the first time I ever seen a black hockey player.
Right.
So that kind of, no cap, that drew me in. I was like, oh shit, there's a black dude playing hockey. Like,
yeah.
So that made me really want to start. And then I seen him make a hit, and it was like, oh.
And he's a great player. He's one of the best in the league in general.
Yeah, he crunched this dude, and I was just like, oh shit, like you can hit like this in hockey. I always knew you could fight in hockey, and you could just, whatever the case may be. They always show the fights or whatever, and that was it. But like the speed of the game, the way it's played, and like how it's, there's lines that rotate in, so it's like, and just like the athleticism that their players have and they play with, it's a different ball game. Like you got to be a different freak of athlete to be able to skate that fast, move
exactly, and skate backwards too. You have to be way above average.
It's like you got to be a different freak of athlete to play hockey, and it's just like, I think and now that we even work with a few hockey teams here at Inform, it's just like I'm more suited to know about like what's going on within sports world. So it's like it's made me a little bit more versed.
And a better fan too.
And a better fan of a lot of more sports. Like before, I used to be so narrow-minded when like I don't like any other sport but football and basketball, and like that was it. But like watching all these different sports and going to different sporting events, it just gives me more of a pleasure of being a sports fan. Like
and an admiration too.
I get to enjoy sports on like at the naturalist level, like watching the youth kids play. Like I remember when I was playing in youth, that was like the most naturalist time you can play a sport. There's zero politics, there's zero like
right.
Anything. Like it's just a whole bunch of kids playing sports and you're having fun. And like, once you get to like certain levels, you like, the politics come into a hand, and you gotta do a whole bunch
There's
of
money, the money involved.
Yeah, the monies and all that
endorsements.
Shit it comes into
worrying about your own clout for social
like,
media and stuff.
When we get to go watch the kids play at the youth level, it's like it's the most purest thing ever, and it's like it's the best. To me, it's like I love watching youth sports, whether that be from the youth level all the way up to high school to collegiate.
Mm-hmm.
I really do love just watching sports from those levels, because it's like that's when you see the athletes really giving their all at the most purest form, and it's just like it's the greatest thing to watch is when you watch these kids just go so hard. And it's like I remember I was playing at this age, man. I used to love it, and all my friends used to play at this age. It's like we used to always have fun playing at that level, and it's just like being able to watch these kids play at that level is so much fun. And even like just doing these things with Inform it's just been able to give me a new opportunity just to explore more, travel more, meet new people, just be more worldly is what you could say. It's like I've been to places that like I never thought I would have been able to go to. I went to Dallas like 2-3 times this year, just alone in 2021. I went to Dallas like 3 times. So it's like, being able to just travel the way that I've been able to travel with Inform. This is like, like I said, it's been able to give me a worldly outlook on how life is outside of Connecticut, and like basically what life is like. You know what I'm saying? Like Connecticut is like but so big, but then when you get to go travel, you get to go see what it's like down in Texas. And like we've always got, being from here, we always get to hear about like these schools down there from like the Cedar Hills, Katie's, and I don't know, there's another schools that's down there, but like all those those big schools, and then you go down there and you just like, shit, like my college, I think it's Jesuit High School in Dallas. Their stadium is bigger than WestConn's football stadium.
Yeah, dude, you see Friday Night Lights. I mean, it's a world, it's a different world down there.
I think their stadiums equivalent to the size of like the Yale Bowl and what's UConn's field? Rensselaer?
Yeah, Rensselaer Field out in East Hartford.
Yeah, I feel like majority of those Texas stadiums or whatever, the big schools, even in Georgia too. We went to this one school that was down in Georgia. They weren't even the top school. Like I was like trying to figure out like, is this school one of like the top schools that plays down here? And they was like, nah, this school is hell no.
Yeah, it's like trash.
Hell no. I'm like,
but they still have the fan base, huh?
I'm like, they play in this big stadium? No, they be like, yo, you should see the schools that are good. Right? I'm like, oh, all right. Like they play at mega stadiums where
it's a religion over there.
It's religion down there, and it's just like, and you think about it coming from here. I'm like, damn, I wonder what it would be like playing in this, because like,
yeah,
the most our stadium gets filled is like at Norwalk High is like that Brian McMahon game, like when the
pretty
whole
much,
city comes out. That's it. You playing about in front of like probably 1,000 or 1,500.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably the most 1,500 that you probably. I'm chatting with 1,500. There's probably a good 1,000, like 1,200 people that come to that game a year.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's nothing too big, but when you playing in front of 5,000, 4,000, 3,000 people a weekend,
yeah, on a regular basis,
basis, where it's putting like 5,000 people in the stands for a high school game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's outrageous. That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. Where it's like
the adrenaline pumping, the Friday night lights, the passion. Like I said, I often using passion and fulfillment in an environment like that.
Yeah, because those kids, they got it though. Like I've seen a few of them play. Like I got to watch a lot of the top players play this year. I got to watch this kid named Travis Hunter play during the offseason. Kid is a beast. Is a beast. Like really, all the rankings that they got for this kid checks him off on the board. He's got the height, he's got the speed, he's got the size, he's got the ability. The kid really is a freak of nature. Like he really is like. That kid is really like that. Like I'm not even gonna gas the kid up and say, "Oh, he's not." Like, nah. That kid, I seen him play live. Like that kid he's like, you know how they say sometimes you'll go to an event or a game or whatever. You'll walk on the field and you see a kid that's like, "Well, damn, who the hell is that?" Like when you see him,
remember that name.
Like who the hell is this kid? And then by the end of the game, you know who his name is. Like that kid is legit. Like legit. I'm mad he's going to Florida State.
Oh.
I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan, so like I met him. I was like, hey, you want to go to Florida State? Like, you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, Florida State's been kind of quiet lately.
I want to go to Miami.
And while the Hurricanes have been making a push last year, they got ranked again.
Yeah, we finally got ranked again.
So watch out. I know they didn't release the poll yet. You think they'll get ranked first week?
I think we're like 15.
Okay. So legit.
So we're legit. We're decent. We play Alabama week 1. I'll be going to that game. It's the Chick-fil-A Classic in Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Did you see the I think it's the Pac-12, Big 12, and ACC making a partnership?
No, it's Pac-12, Big 10, and ACC.
Oh, Big 10. Okay. Wow. Yeah, okay, those guys. But anyways, college just shows how much college is growing more.
Yeah, I don't really know how that's gonna work out, but I feel like, you know, for me per se, I'd rather watch college ball than the NFL. I feel like every weekend you get the best players to giving out the most of their ability that they can give. Whereas like the NFL, they got the 18-week season. Yeah. So they take off. It doesn't get hot. The season doesn't get important until November. So no one really pays attention. You know what I mean? But college, from week 1 to week 10 or 11 or 12, whatever they play, if you lose, you're done.
Yeah, you lose. You disappoint your entire state for most of these.
Exactly, schools. Like you one loss, you're done, and you just like. It's sad to say, but like these kids, they give it their all, and like I'm glad they're getting paid now. On all levels, from Division 1 all the way down to Division 3, they could get a check. Because these kids, even being a former student athlete, you can't work as much as people be like, oh, they've got free education, they get this, they get that, bro. Them kids is the reason why you got that new science building. Them kids is the reason why it's a new library. Them kids is the reason why it's a new art building. It's a new building every year. It's because of them. It's still that's why I feel like, you know, the NCAA they owe these kids like more than just a scholarship, especially these schools who have these giant these giant endowments where it's like they got millions and millions in their portfolio, and it's like you got athletes. You telling me athletes will lose their scholarship if they get a bagel and cream cheese instead of a bagel?
Mm-hmm. You know, it's wrong. It's so bullshit, and that's something the Supreme Court got right.
They definitely got that right, and they owe them kids, like literally, like if you want, whatever the case may be, you could say, "Oh, these kids don't deserve it." I feel like if you're saying that, you're just a hater. You don't want to see, you don't want to see right. You don't want to see the right being done to people that have always been done so wrong. You know what I'm saying? Those are the same people that complain, "Oh, I paid my student loans off. You should have to pay your student loans. You're gonna need." Bro, you went to school in 1967 when college tuition was $5.
Seriously, you have to. It's time to reward the people who worked hard for it. And it's time to, now prove that otherwise. And I know the NCAA has a rough road ahead after this, but they needed to have this change and give their right to free speech to people and make the most of your opportunities. And it's really cool to see, and it expand on all levels to, get what you keep in. And imagine if players like a Tebow or like on top of my head,
About
who
it.
was
No,
big.
no, no. Speak on it. Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow done sold about over 1 million jerseys while he
Yeah.
was at Florida. I don't think he had the Tebow on the back of the jersey, but it might have been just the 15 and a Florida jersey or whatever the case may have been. But
And you know what that
regardless,
meant.
that's Tim Tebow. You rock if you had a Florida Gators jersey while Tim Tebow was playing number 15 and he didn't get a dime. I don't care what team. I think Tim Tebow said they shouldn't get paid. He full of shit. He full of shit.
He'd be swimming right now if he had that.
He'd be swimming if he was getting paid for those jerseys. He full of shit. And I also think he came from a rich family. Most of these kids don't come from rich families. You feel me?
Nope.
Football, especially if we talk about football, the demographic of football, majority of these kids come from low-income neighborhoods, low-income houses.
Yep.
You feel me? You getting these kids that are coming straight from the gutter, from the trenches where they don't have much. This scholarship, that's cool. Mom and dad ain't gotta pay for this, gotta pay for me to go to school. But mom and dad is still struggling back at home while I'm up here. You know what I'm saying? Those bills aren't still being paid. I'm just up here living a little lavishly because I'm in a dorm. You got me set up. You give me some clothes. You give me some sneakers. You give me some gear, all this shit. But at the end of the day, if I don't produce, you're going to recruit the next kid that's right in my position the next year. You may cut me within the next year or two or whatever. Now I'm back at square one, back at home with mom and dad. And,
sure.
And we don't talk about it what these athletes go through, where it's like, they graduate from school. Some got some bullshit ass degree because they got told, yo, you here to play football. You really not here for school. Some come out with a bullshit degree, don't make the NFL or whatever their dreams was supposed to be to get to the next level. They don't get there. Now they back at home, depressed, fucked up, and they can't get a job because all they did was play sports. They didn't learn shit in school and do shit with school. All they did was, I'm here to play football. We take so much away from these athletes because we put them in these cases where it's like, yo, you're here to come to the school to play a sport. I've seen coaches tell players where I've heard players come back and say like, yeah, my coach told me, yo, you're not here to go to school, bro. I ain't recruit you for that shit. I brought you to play football, bro.
That's fucked up.
I ain't come, you know what I'm saying? It's a fucked up system, but you got to think about it. This is how these coaches feed their families.
True.
You're a commodity. You're not a student athlete. You're a commodity. At the end of the day, you're a commodity. If your shit is not working, bro, we got to get you up out of here. And we got to go get it. It was said to me at the D3 level. Matt, you could attest it. I was pretty good in high school.
Hell yeah.
I went Division 3. I got told at Division 3, yo, we don't even fucking need you. You can pack your shit up and go home.
That's nuts.
At the Division 3 level, bro. And these coaches are paying. They gotta get paid. You gotta produce for them. I was told like you ain't never gonna play good. You stink. Like it happens to the best of us. We come from these places where we're big headed and we're told like, yo, you're so good, you're the greatest, whatever the case may be. Then when you get to the next level and it doesn't pan out, and you're still trying to make it pan out, so you start fucking off in class. You're like, I don't really care for class. I'm not gonna go. Or you just like, you start trying to put more emphasis on playing the sport instead of getting your degree, learning and becoming a more worldly person, more educated person. A lot of these kids go through that shit, and the NCAA owes them that. And it's like, coach, or it be this circumstance right here. This happens all the time. Your coach, the coach that recruits you, right?
Mm-hmm.
He tells you to go to Alabama, whatever the case may be. He tells me to go to, let's say, the coach from let's go
LSU.
Let's go LSU, right?
Go Tigers.
Coach from LSU tells me, I'm coming, you coming to LSU, whatever the case may be. I'm not a high-ranking kid or whatever, but the coach sees potential in me. So he brings me and gets me a little spot, half partial scholarship or whatever, right? Because there are all the circumstances, right? Mm-hmm. Boom. 4, 5, 6 months later, coach you ain't been in contact with coach. You're getting ready to come to campus, this, that, and the third. All right, cool. Coach is like, all right, fuck it, I'm out of here. And you can't leave because of the NCAA rules. Yep. You can't just get up and go with this coach and go to the next school. You committed to LSU. LSU got to release you one. Then you got to sit out a whole year.
Yep.
Or you got to get that special clearance to go ahead and be cleared to play this year. So you missing out. So one, you went from being a partial scholarship kid. Now you not even on scholarship because you tried to leave and whatever the case may be. You try to finesse the system. Ain't no finessing it for these kids. So it's like they're stuck in a situation where they didn't mean to go to the school. They just meant to come play for this coach. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like these coaches have no loyalty to these players as well, but these players are expected to have loyalty to this program, to this school, to these fans. But at the end of the day, it's like if these kids fuck up, or if like these coaches leave, or whatever the circumstances may be, these kids aren't given the same grace that we give these coaches, that we just give everyone else. We just like, you as a regular student, right? You can go transfer to a school if you don't like this school. You can get up, say, I'm not feeling it here. Finish out the semester. Matter of fact, you don't even have to finish out the semester. You can literally say, I'm out, I'm withdrawing, go to the next school and start fresh all over again. These kids don't have that opportunity. You got to wait, this, that, and the third. Now, by the time that you get back on the playing field, bro, you done missed like 2.5, 3 years of football.
Yeah, and your life too.
You know what I'm saying? You expect for them to really take you that serious. They don't know. They haven't seen no film of you. They haven't seen nothing from you. It's just still word of mouth. Last time you got film was still when you was in high school.
Right.
It's 3 years. It's been 2-3 years since you played. Come on, it doesn't make no sense for these kids, for us to just for the NCAA to have been treating these kids like that. It's happened to so many kids where it's like, we thought they were gonna go high D1, or maybe not even high D1. They were just gonna go D1, and they get there, and then come to find out a few months later, they back home. Yeah, they back home, and you just like, yo, what happened? Oh, shit ain't paying out. It ain't just work out with me and the coach. The coach left, this, that, and the third. Oh, they wasn't feeling me. I was a bad decision. Wasn't the right fit. Or it is just the circumstances where it happens a lot, where these kids, they go to school, like I said, they go to school, get a bullshit degree, come out, you can't get a job, can't figure life out, and then you still living that stuck up identity. Oh, I'm an athlete. You still go around. You go to your interview. The first thing you said, yeah, I played football. I was an athlete in school. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah, it doesn't help unless you're going to the next level.
The dude who's interviewing ain't played football. He don't know shit about football. He don't give a fuck.
He's cynical about the football players, probably.
Yeah, he don't give a fuck, bro. So you fucked yourself up by even like, oh yeah, I was an athlete. I played. He don't give a fuck, bro. What can you do? What do you know how to do? Because we don't need you to run we don't need you to run a dive. I don't need you to run a post route. I don't need you to cover. I don't, bro.
I need you to file. I need to file these reports instead.
Exactly. Do you know how to work a spreadsheet? Can you read a spreadsheet, bro? Do you know how to audit? What do you know how to do? And a lot of these kids come out of school, they don't know shit because they ain't learned. They ain't go to school for that. They went to school to play ball. And they're sold the dream that you're gonna make it to the next level. And these coaches just try to tell them that shit. And it's like, unless you have that type of parent who's real with you, or you just have that self-awareness where you're just real with yourself and you're just like, all right, I need to figure this out for myself. Whereas like where I did on Division III level, I'm like, yo, I'm not going pro. So I was like, yo, fuck this. I'm not about to keep playing. I'm not going to the next level. It's like, there's no point in this. Like, I'm wasting my time. It's Division III. Y'all trying to make us do 5 a.m. workouts. Like, bro, we're not going to the league. No disrespect to the Westcott football team. No disrespect.
Of course not.
What is the point of it? We Division III. Like, I was told when they go to Division III, oh, you could still do the study abroad program. You could still go do all these things that, you know what I'm saying, that is granted to you. You can do this. You can be in student government. You can do all these things. Nah, that's not the case.
No, they just did what you had to do to recruit and get your numbers.
They lying to you to get you to come to the school and say, oh yeah, I got it ain't gonna be that hard, bro. This shit is another job. Regardless if you go to Division I, Division II, or Division III, the Division III program is just as hard to stay in as it is as the Division I program if you're being recruited to play it. Because the next year, you think, all right, my recruiting class my freshman year, it was about 30 kids that came in from my freshman year. The next year, another 30 kids. The next year, another 30 kids. You don't think they recruited like 2 or 3 running backs, 4 running backs every year?
They had to do what they had to do to get food on the table.
These coaches gotta produce. You gotta get kids to come into the school, and you gotta produce wins. They don't care for you. And I think a lot of these kids be getting suckered into that thing where they think like these coaches really do care for them. And in some cases they do. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, don't nobody really care for you. It's like you gotta really have that, especially in college. When you on your own, that's what college really teaches you about, is being on your own and being able to advocate for yourself and learn about yourself more and be about yourself. They say you selfish. Hey, it's okay to be selfish in those years, because at the end of the day, what comes out, which is what you get in. So if you was not selfish with your time while you were in school or within these prime years that we have in your 20s, if you're not selfish with them and you put in this work to get ahead, you're going to be looking back when you turn 30, 40, and you're like, shit, I should have put in more time and more effort into these things, where it's like, I was bullshitting. I remember my freshman year, I was bullshitting because I wanted to play football. Grades were slipping. I really didn't care. I was just trying to train so I could get onto the field next year.
Yeah.
Bullshitting, bro. Just straight bullshitting. And I'm not going to the NFL. I had that real, my mother had this conversation with me. She was like, yo, what's up? Like, what are you doing? Like, you not, like, my mother said it. She's like, you're not going to the NFL. And, you know, it sucks that she had to say that to me for me to really realize, like, yo, bro, you're not going to the league. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
what are you going to do with your life? Because at the end of the day, when you go to these interviews, like I said, I can't first opening statement be, I played football. It cannot be. It's not, tell me about yourself. Well, you know, I played football. Nigga, nobody gives a fuck. No one cares. No one cares, bro. No one cares. That cannot be your first opening statement. Well, Tomar, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. Yeah, hey, so I played football in college. I was a great running back. This, that. Oh, fuck, bro. They just writing down, yeah, he's an athlete, whatever. Like,
on to the next one they write.
On to the next. You're not getting a call back, bro. You're not getting a call back for the second interview because you wanted to tell them I was a. You
wanted to run plays with you.
And trust me, it's no disrespect to any of the kids who are athletes and they go like, you know, I went through that shit. I literally went through that shit, and I had to revise how I was going about my interviews and shit, and like what I was saying, and like, you know, because you're thinking that, oh, you could relate to people when it comes to sports. Nah, not everybody's a sports fan. No one really, you know what I'm saying? It's a small niche. You might be able to finesse it with them maybe like once or twice with someone who's a sports fan, who's an average sports fan. You might be able to finesse them in, but like majority of people don't really, you know what I'm saying? They don't really care about sports. They're not really too big on worrying about what's going on in the sports world, or you know what I mean? Like people don't really pay attention to that stuff. They more focused on like worldly matters. Like, what do you care about really? Like, what do you stand for? Like, what's your passion? What are you passionate about? Now, you could be passionate about sports. Yeah, true, you can be, but just make sure your industry that you're going into is sports related. You can't be going into a Fortune 500 company trying to tell the interviewer like, yeah, I was good at sports, bro. Because that man is like, yo, what?
There's no field in this job, so
I don't got no field in this job. The only thing you can finesse it and say, I'm a competitor, so I'm willing to compete, and you know, I'm not gonna give up. That finesses people. That, yo, trust me, that line finesses. Oh, like I'm a competitor. I like to compete. I treat everything like it's a sport. Whereas I go in, I give my all, and I'm trying to make sure that I do my best, and I give my best effort every single time. People bite for that shit, but outside of that, bro, it's like no one cares that you were an athlete, and it's like, you know, I feel like especially where we're from. And I've just noticed it a lot where it's like a lot of the kids who are athletes, when they get to college, like either they don't pan out and they end up back home, or they never get out because one, all they was told their whole time they was in school, you're an athlete, we're gonna pass you by. Like at Norwalk High, you need a 1.7 to play on the sports team every year. So that's a D average. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The average grades you need to get into college is like a 2.7, 3.0.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? Bro, you a whole, like, you're not going to the next level. And then when it comes down, like, now we got, like, recruiting day or whatever. We got signing day or whatever, right? Everybody's thinking this kid's going to sign. Everybody's thinking this shit is going to happen. It happened to me, too. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, my GPA wasn't high enough to go to Division I. I didn't make clearinghouse because why? We wasn't told about the clearinghouse. So that's another thing where it's like, you may not be told. There's certain things you're not told about. It's a sliding scale to play at the Division I level. If you got a low all right, boom, I'll give it to you like this. You got a 1.7 GPA, right? What you need to score on the SAT when they had to score points or whatever, when we was in school, was out of 2,400, right? When you needed to score on the SAT, if you had a 1.7, it was damn near about an 18. You got a 1.7. How you gonna score 1,800 on the SAT?
You're a good guesser, man. You're just not making it possible.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's a sliding scale. The higher your GPA is, the lower the SAT score got to be. The lower your GPA is, the higher the SAT score got to be. You're doomed if you don't. You're damned if you do. You know what I'm saying? It's no way. It doesn't correlate for these kids where it's like they're not told the proper information, and it's like we're all just told, like, you know, if you get, like, we're all told the same bullshit, like, oh, give it your all, listen to me, listen to the coaches, and we'll get you into the next door. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You need an education first and foremost. You need to be doing well in the classroom. And you just got to excel on the field. That's how you'll get ahead with it. But at the end of the day, if you can't correlate what's going on in the classroom to other people in the world, and just in general, just correlate what's going on in the classroom and just be able to comprehend things outside of your sport. If you can't do that, you're doomed. And I see it happen so often to kids that where we come from, where it's like they get to college and they just like, it's such a shock where it's like you're passed by because you're an athlete in the school. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they just get,
they don't know how to fend for themselves at the end of the day, which is what this whole world is making us do.
You shut down because now you don't know what to do. No one's ever told you, like, no one's ever been honest with you and be like, yo, this shit is unacceptable. No one's ever told you that. Everyone's always said, it's okay, we're going to pass you by, we're going to get you all right, you're going to be decent. Yeah, I remember my freshman year of college, I wrote a paper. My teacher told me this is the worst paper she's ever seen. Mind you, like, in high school, like, I was finessing papers. Like, my teacher ain't never failed me.
Yeah. In the Norwalk High system.
I'm going to give you a little B. Let me give you a B for this. Bro, I thought I did the same type of thing. I got F. This is the worst paper I've ever received. Please come see me after class. Yo, she's like, yo, what school did you go to? Like, how are you functioning? Like, this is like,
oh my God.
I'm like, what you mean? Like, I'm taking full offense. Like, I'm just
like that is. I'm like, I don't mean to laugh, but like that's just, it's crazy. Some people are baffling with what they come up with,
No, for real though. But it's like these type of things happen though. I know this is not the only time it's happened to me. Yeah. I know it's happened to other kids too, where it's just like they come from educational systems where it's just like you get passed on by just because of who you are sometimes, and they like, it's not a detriment. It's not even an actual help to these kids. It's actually it's a detriment. It's actually something so bad that happens to these kids, and it's like we kind of allow it to happen. Where it's like for ourselves as students, we allow it to happen to us, and then two, it's like the school system has to do better. Like
10,000%.
Like I remember I was like I got put into like State 5 level 5 classes because one of the guidance counselors was like, yo, I'm gonna just put you in here because I need you to just pass, and these are the easy classes, and I'm gonna just put you in here to put you in here. Bro, I'm in class full of dummies. No disrespect, bro. I'm in a class full of dummies. The classwork is easy. The teacher is telling me like, yo, why are you here? I'm just like, they put me in here. If it wasn't for this teacher, I swear to God, if it wasn't for Mr. Fuller, I would have been in all level 5 classes. Because I had him for a level 5 class, right? You know how we have State 9 8 and State 9 5 or whatever. Oh, yeah. 5 is the lows and 8 is basically you're at where you're supposed to be. Then
exactly.
We got the honors and whatever. So I was in all level 5s. They put me in all level 5s purposely. Like I was told, like, I'm gonna just put you. I'm not gonna say the guidance counselor. I ain't gonna do him like that. But he told me I'm gonna put you in these level 5 classes so we could just pass you through. You're gonna be all right, and we're gonna get you good. We're gonna make sure. You know what I'm saying?
God. What a way. But I did the same thing. I was in a 5 English class, and I was like, the difference was when people would read entire novels, they'd have us read play versions of that, and I thought like, all of us can't be that dumb. I mean, some have other obstacles than others, but like, give us more credit. You could teach us the right way for things, but don't think of us as some island of misfit toys and such. We're better than that.
Exactly.
There's. Maybe some people think there's a difference between an honest student and a 5 student, but when it comes to work ethic and trying to figure out things for yourself and not learning intense rocket science or nothing like that, we can still pull it off. That's one thing I never liked about the Norwalk public school systems in that sense, or any school systems like that. They really treat people in those lower classes like degenerates, and they're not. They just had different obstacles they had to overcome. And I'll tell you, those people in those honors classes and APs, they could have handled it probably. And those other people in those other classes are still able to become big, successful people with that, even if a system doesn't believe in them. And anyone hearing that with my listeners, or if those listeners have kids in those others ones, those are not dumb kids. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just still on their way to greatness despise that, and don't let
Right.
any
But it's
number
just like you
live that
gotta
way.
advocate for yourself to get not
Yes,
be put in that predicament, because
exactly.
if you don't, you'll be stuck there. And it was just like, if it wasn't for Mr. Fuller and my mother, he called my mother actually and was like, "Yo, do you know your son's in like these low level classes or whatever?" She ended up setting up a whole meeting with the guidance counselor, with Fuller. Ended up getting me a new guidance counselor. Ended up putting me in the correct level classes I was supposed to be in. And it was just like, if you don't have that level of advocacy for yourself,
Right.
if you don't have that support system, you're gonna be stuck in that range. But it was just like, it's wrong that I was put in that range and I wasn't supposed to be put there, but I was put there because it was like, like I said, again, you just pass by in the system and they're just like, all right, so whatever, we don't really care. It's like, we're just gonna get you done with this and move you on. But it's like, what about when I want to go to school the next year? Oh, don't worry about it. No, I just go to NCC. No disrespect to the people that go to NCC either. But it's like, oh, just go to community college. And I was just like,
man, this is a stupid system that is leading
what?
us to
What do
nowhere.
you mean just go to community college, bro? Like, I have like a decent GPA. I'm not a 4.0 like high honor student, but I'm not a degenerate. Like, I didn't have a 1.7. I wasn't just barely getting by. Like, I think I graduated high school with about like a 2.8, 2.9, something like that. 7.28, 2.9, in that range, something like that. But it wasn't like I did a lot. I was in community service. I did all that extra shit, outside of sports. Was like, but it was just like, that was the only aspect I seen that they kind of like, they shortcome you in, where it's like they just try to put you wherever, and then it's like expect you to just go whatever, go away after that. And if you don't fight for yourself, that's what you get. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a parent that comes in and is like, nah, I don't want this for my kid. No, I don't want this. Like, no, that's not my type of kid. My kid is not that type of kid. Like, if you don't have that type of that support system, that backing, you'll be stuck there. And that's the thing that sucks about it, is that no one, like, no one cares about these kids. Or when I would say, like, I felt like just sometimes they didn't care for us like that, where it's like, we had to really, some of us had to be assholes and be assholes back. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me specifically, I had a few times where I had to be an asshole back to a few teachers, where it was like, I wasn't feeling the way I was being disrespected. I was like, like, I'm not an idiot. You're not going to talk to me like an idiot. You're not going to treat me like an idiot. So it's like, I feel like, a lot of these kids, or like just in general, when it comes to like the athletes, and how we're speaking on it, was like, a lot of these athletes just need to learn that, you bring value more than just sport to what you do and who you are as a person. You're more than just an athlete. That's why I was so happy when like LeBron finally did that thing where it's like, not shut up and dribble. Like, I won't shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
Like, more than that athlete. Like, you are, like, you're supposed to speak up for these things. And you're supposed to be like, you're a human being. You're not an athlete. You're a human being. And I think people differentiate that with like, we get so lost up in this thing where it's like, we forget that athletes are actual human beings. They just play a sport, or they play with a ball better than a regular person, than an average human being does. All right. That's the only difference between an athlete, a pro athlete, and a rec league person. A rec league person can still shoot a jump shot. A pro just makes a jump shot at a higher level. You know what I'm saying? It's still the same game. It's that he gets paid millions of dollars and he can shoot it at a higher level. That's it. But that doesn't make you less of a human, and that doesn't make the athlete more of a human than you are. We're still all humans at the end of the day, and we still all regular people. And I think once we stop putting each other like, or even if it is a pedestal system, but it's just a thing where it's like, people need to understand that, like, we're all human beings. Like with the Olympics coverage that we just went by, with the just slander of Simone Biles, with this, you know what I'm saying, with a lot of the athletes who sat out,
Naomi Osaka criticism and stuff.
Yeah, Sha'Carri's what's her name?
Richardson.
Yeah, Sha'Carri Richardson, with her slander, and just like, a lot of like, just in general, just slander amongst athletes. So it's just like, it has to stop. And it's like, what's crazy though, when we think about it, these reporters want to be these athletes.
Yep.
At the end of the day, these reporters want to be these athletes. And like, I always would say, like, I hate the way like these reporters and stuff, like, they report on the NBA and the NFL and the MLB and all these sports, whatever. Like, if you weren't a former athlete, if you didn't make it to that highest pinnacle level,
you don't have any say.
How can you say that this person is like a trash football player. Like, I'm gonna give you the best. I'm gonna give you the best example. Mike Mayock, he's a GM of the Raiders, right?
Yep.
When Lamar Jackson came out, Deshaun Watson, and Patrick Mahomes came out, you know who he said was better than all three of them?
Who?
Mitchell Trubisky and Baker Mayfield. Anybody today will tell you if they can redo that draft, they're not taking Baker Mayfield. They're not taking Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh, you got. I mean,
Lamar
Patrick
Jackson,
Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes is a god figure with that
Super Bowl
football.
winning champion.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson MVP. Deshaun Watson, one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. What you want to tell me? You want to tell me
They locked in and played.
You want to tell me Baker Mayfield, even if you watch college football that year or whatever, you did. If you want to watch the film and talk and watch film for film, you want to tell me Baker Mayfield threw a better ball than Lamar Jackson? You want to tell me you really could back this film up and say this is like Lamar Jackson ropes the ball. Literally, it's a rope every time he comes out, and he's accurate. But you want to tell me Baker Mayfield was better than him for whatever reason? You can't even really agree with it that Baker Mayfield was better than Lamar Jackson. No one can. No one will say it. No one will say it. Even if you watch football, ask anyone today, will they say Baker Mayfield is better than Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes? They will not say it.
They're just ignorant if they think the fact.
We don't even. Mitchell Trubisky was the first or the second pick taken in the draft that year? The second, right? Why is my man starting is a backup quarterback now for the Buffalo Bills? Come on.
Exactly.
The Bears didn't even re-sign him for his rookie contract.
No.
Come on.
Even though he did have a good preseason game, but that's just preseason.
Bro, that's
you're
bullshit.
Right.
That's preseason. Right. When we know when the regular season comes, put Josh Allen back in the ring and we go get it rocking. We're not worried about Mitchell Trubisky, man. Like literally, same thing with who else is the number one quarterback that's that's fighting for a number 2 spot?
You have Jameis Winston with the Saints. That's one. It looks like Taysom Hill's going anyway.
Marcus Mariota's not. Is he in the NFL still or no?
He was backing up Tannehill right? for a second, and then David Carr.
He's on the Raiders, but he's a backup. He's a backup. That's what I'm trying to say. Like evaluate.
He almost won a damn Heisman, and now he's a backup. Man.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Tim Tebow is another one too. Exactly. I mean,
Tim Tebow. They trying to say Tim Tebow. Come on, bro. Like Tim Tebow is a Saturday quarterback. These dudes are like they're good on Saturdays or whatever. That's cool, and there's no discredit to them. But the thing is like. The level of evaluation of these athletes, we got to do better. It's like we can't just be putting up a whole bunch of, no disrespect to Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, all those Media guys. And
Skip Bayless and all that.
They do their thing. It's entertainment. I get that. It's cool. We love listening to their takes on things. Like, to this day, Max Kellerman has the best hot take. Who's taking the last shot for the Warriors? Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, or Andre Iguodala? My man said Andre Iguodala.
Yes, he did,
bro.
How about anything Colin Cowherd says too?
Exactly. It's all for media take, but it's like I don't know who these evaluators are, but it's like if you didn't play on this level of the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, you have no right to really speak on these athletes. Like, and we look at them as like there's some superhumans when they're really not. They just
playing a game.
They just playing
the best
game.
At it.
It's all, and every one of these games is a childhood game. You start off playing this game, it's a child's game. They just end up playing it on a professional level. They get paid millions of dollars for it, but they're just glorified employees. Y'all don't understand that. They still glorified employees. They're not really somebody that LeBron still got to answer to the Buss family. Steph Curry still got to answer to the owners of the Warriors. Kevin Durant still got to answer to the guys
Joseph
over at
Tsai and the Nets. Yep. Marks.
They just glorified employees. They're not nobody special. They just a bigger name. That all it is like, me and my department, I'm just the highest ranked person in my department. All right. And I'm glorified for it. Everybody in the company knows, everybody in the outside world, I'm the number one I'm number one financial aid officer at the school. That's it, bro. Outside of that, it's no, you know what I'm saying? It's not really, it doesn't correlate. And I think people need to just take that out of their mind when we talk about these athletes and how we treat them. You know what I'm saying? Not to say treat them less than or treat them more than what they are, but at the end of the day, they're athletes and they're humans. Like that mental health thing where if you're not there mentally in the game, trust me, that shit is really it'll take a toll on you once you stop loving the game.
Yeah, it's
You
not
stop
worth it.
loving the game, and it's like Larry Fitzgerald was just I was listening to Larry Fitzgerald's in last interview he was doing. He was talking about if he was going to come back or if he was going to do radio, and he said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with radio. My heart's not in football. My mind's not in football. I can't mentally prepare myself to do another season of it." And when he went into elaborate about like the mental aspect of getting ready to go into another football season, and Larry's done it for about 16, 17 years. It's like my body's taking a toll. I'm getting older. It's like, my mindset of me clicking my head to get to that point in time, I'm tired of it. I can't do it no more. So when we look at that aspect, especially with football players and the CTE and everything that goes on with them, it's like, we got to just look at them as more than just an athlete. They're not just that. These are human beings that when they come out of this game, when they're done playing, they're fucked up human individuals. They got fucked up mindsets. Their mind is all scrambled because of CTE. They deal with depression because their whole life, all they was known was as a football player. Now, when you walk away from the game and the random fan 5 years from now can't remember you for who you were or who you are, and you just sitting there like, damn, nobody knows who I am. That shit gets to you.
Yeah, we've seen it's sad to say we've seen lost players from that. It's tough for players leaving the NFL with a disease, and they have taken a lot of steps to change that, but there's still so much more they have to do.
Yeah, it literally does, and you see it happen to these kids it happens to kids from the kids that play in high school that don't get to go to go play in division, whatever, don't get to go to play in college. And then you get the kids that go to college play and they don't make it to the pros. And then when you get to the kids who make it to the pros and then they end up stop playing because whatever the time is done and it's time to hang up the cleats. But it happens, and we on every level, we treat these kids, we treat these athletes, and we treat these people as like there's some superhuman and there's some savior, there's some superhero. When in actuality, they're just a regular person who just, we just admire them for what they do. And I think we need to separate the person on the field and the person off the field. That's the reason why there's so many players that have off the field issues. It's because off the field, it doesn't correlate. You know what I'm saying? They're the best player on the field, but off the field, because they don't have that mental development, they don't have that self-awareness of what's going on, they end up like just messing up in whatever way the case may be, where they get into trouble with the law, or they
financially is a bad one.
Financially, they end up messing up, or they can't have relationships with people. It's hard for them to have relationships. It's hard for them to maintain friendships, relationships with people. They some are women abusers, whatever the case may be. It's like, you know what I mean? It's a lot of things that we have to uncover and just be able to speak on for these athletes and advocate for these athletes. And that's one thing that we do for Inform. It's just like, being all former athletes, this still gives you an aspect of, still being involved in the game some way, somehow. You can still teach the game. You can still have impact within the game. You can still broaden the game. You can still change the game from the sideline. You don't have to be in between the field to make a play, to change the game, to have people remember you for what you did for the game. There's ways and aspects and different ways and different ventures for you to get into the game and still be able to be a part of the game while not having to play and do all these things. So it's like, I just think we just have to be a little bit more respectful and a little bit more compassionate to these players, because, you don't see them waking up, like I said, 5 a.m. for a workout, go bust their ass. Now, and then you want a kid to go, boom, this is like, I'll put it to you, the college schedule as a D3 kid is like, 5:30, you gotta wake up at 5, make it to the gym by 5:30. 5:45, y'all stretching, y'all lifting. 6 o'clock, you in the workout. By 7:30, you gotta be done showering, be done with your workout. Then you got a 9 a.m., 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., depending on whatever your schedule is like. You're gonna have to take those 8 a.m. or 9 a.m.s because you gotta be at practice in the afternoon. So they try to knock out all your classes in the morning so that by the time the afternoon comes, you could be at practice at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you got to crunch all that in, and then you got a study hall session, and you got a film session in between all that. So mind you, I woke up at 5:30, busted my ass, did this crazy ass workout or whatever. 8 o'clock, I'm in class, half asleep, can't concentrate because I'm just tired as shit. Then a few hours later, that I got to stay up, go get something to eat, go to film session. After the film session, maybe go to a class, and I'd probably go to class. After that class, go right to practice. It's the same cycle. When do these kids get at time to network? Like when you go to college, what is the biggest thing to do in college? Network. Yep. It doesn't matter what you got in grades. It's what you leave college with. Who is your network? Who are the people that you connected with? Who are the people that you met? And now this network that you built from this university, how is this alumni network going to help you elevate yourself in your career? If all I did was play sports, I never met anybody in class, I didn't get to go to these social events and network and meet different people and learn what people were doing, how am I helping myself, benefiting myself? It doesn't help these kids. They're set back.
You don't see the real world, and you can't get ready for it if you're so babied like that, as you were saying.
All I know, all my network is my teammates. We in the same boat. Like we about to go. We in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It doesn't correlate when it's like. Whereas if like I ended up stopped playing and I ended up meeting a whole bunch of new people outside of the football players, and I was able to just I got friends from all over the place. I think I've got a friend in not all. I don't want to say all 50 states, but let's say like half. Like you know what I mean? 25.
That's still a great deal, right?
I got a lot of friends in a lot of different areas where I met them in college, and they were either a friend of a friend or like whatever the case may be. But I was able to make that connection and network and build up my network with people that I know. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I don't think a lot of people have that ability to do that and be able to just have that experience, especially when you play a sport. So like I was saying, like we just got to be a little bit more kind to these athletes, figure out a way for them to have the ability to be able to network with people still, and just be able to, once they leave school, they're able to get into the real world and not feel so depressed or not feel like they don't know what's coming next. Because a lot of them, they get out and they're just like, they're just so screwed in and they just can't figure out, all right, what do I do next? You know what I'm saying? It's always, what do I do next? Where it's like, you could turn the page, but it's just like, all right, how am I turning this page though? Because I don't know how to turn this page. I don't know what to do next. It's like, I was never taught. I was just like, yo, go to practice, bro. Make sure you're on practice on time. Coach don't care. Did you sit? I'm gonna tell you how much they bullshit you. Did you sit in front of the classroom? Yes. All right. That's it, bro. If you slept, bro, if you slept in class, that was, just make sure you slept in the front of the class.
So they know that you're there. I heard
just there. It didn't matter. You could sit in the front of the class and still fail. I don't care. Well, I walked into the class. You were sitting in front. That's a check mark. You did good today, bro. All set.
That's like, I know players, people say at schools, there's someone checking up on them. If you're like in a big D1 college basketball program, men's, for instance, like a Cade Cunningham at Oklahoma State, they just had to make sure he was in class on time.
He ain't even go to class. The Ben Simmons story, bro. This is why they trying to change shit. The Ben Simmons story. Ben Simmons went to LSU, did not go to class once. did not go to class once. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. You can't. I ain't mad at Ben Simmons. Trust me, I'm not mad at Ben Simmons. They've been finessing us every year. Every athlete, they finesse these kids every year. So Ben Simmons was able to finesse them, not go to class. I don't know what the hell he doing with that jump shot.
Right.
You ain't go to class, but you don't got no jump shot. I don't know what's going on, Ben. But still, for him not to have to go to class,
not working on that jump shot in class.
But even if he's not in class, but just him not to go to class and just be strictly a basketball player. Say what happens Ben Simmons' first year in the NBA. He tears his knee up so bad, like, there's no way you can play ball. That contract gonna run out. Of course, he got some mills, but you gotta play to get paid.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if the NBA is fully guaranteed. The NBA be giving fully guaranteed contracts. They be giving guaranteed money. So outside of that guaranteed money, what are you getting though? After that guaranteed money, you got like 2 or 3. The NBA rookie contract is what, 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Your first year is 4 or 5 years, a couple of mil. In the lottery is high. It's like 100 mils.
Exactly. So higher your pick, the more cloud you get. But like a first round pick, like you said, could get few million over
you're gonna
4
be
or
all
5
right.
years.
You're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? But you better hope that he got people in his camp that, if he blew out his knee or whatever, he can't play no more, that he's able to still maintain those funds and he put that money in the right place.
Like a Greg Oden, for instance. Like, where's he up to? He got picked over Kevin Durant, and, well...
Greg Oden's not in the league. You know what I'm saying?
He's gone.
We ain't heard of Greg Oden in like 10 years.
Yeah, like that.
You know what I mean?
Did the world get prepared for him? Did he have the world prepared?
And we was all saying Greg Oden is going to be the next Olajuwon, the next Shaq, the next best thing to ever come into the NBA.
Nothing.
Greg Oden played about like 10 games.
Right.
He played more than 10 games, but it's like we only got
Portland.
to see. We got him to see him like probably like honestly, I think I've seen this dude play like 10 times on TV.
Right.
I don't think I've seen him play that much. Even in college when he was at Ohio State, he didn't play that much because he got hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He had that one good year at Ohio State, then got drafted. We thought Greg Oden was going to be the next best thing. Ends up blowing out his knee. We can't even play no more. It's like, what do you do? What does he do? He can't do nothing. But it's like we better hope for the best that he didn't blow all his funds and he didn't lose everything and like just pray for the best. Where it's like we don't know what these dudes do. Like there's just like a lot of athletes where it goes through from like on both the girl sides of basketball and the side where we don't, especially the women's side. It's so bad because it's like they go to college, they get the free education, but like the women's side doesn't even get that much respect when it comes to like to funds. Like NBA G League dudes, I think make more than the WNBA players, right? I think some
at this point,
I think some G League dudes make more than them. So it's like, how is it that we can't even like fully prepare? Like, I think they gotta. I think I might make some more than some of them. I think they gotta. Yo, no, I'm just saying.
It shows how unfair this world is.
It shows how unfair it is. Like,
it really is, man.
Athletes, but like but you want to tell me so? But like, you know what I'm saying? So like, especially for the female athletes, now that they have access to get paid through the NIL or whatever, I feel like it's mainly more beneficial for them because it's like they're not getting paid. They don't get paid the same thing that the male counterparts get paid. The WNBA is still $1 billion industry. It's still $1 billion a league.
It keeps growing and growing with people like Sabrina Ioku and stuff and Sue Birds and what you have.
But we can't pay them, but y'all don't pay them? Like, it don't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense that what's her name makes more than Breanna Stewart. And she's like the face of the NBA. Like Danny Green. Come on now. Like,
just collecting rings.
There's a whole bunch of dudes in the NBA who make bank. They make more than a lot of these females, these women athletes. And then we can look up numbers stat line for whatever. Yeah, I guarantee Breanna Stewart got better numbers than Danny Green.
For sure. She could beat him one-on-one.
You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to Danny Green, but like no slander to any of these NBA players or whatever. But it's like
it's time to pay these female athletes, man.
It's time to pay women athletes. And it's just like, and I'm glad like the NCAA did make that NIL thing where that every athlete can get paid now. It's just that now it's like more, it's going to correlate more for women athletes now that they can get paid more with the NIL. So it's like the girls that are coming out of college now, right? Now that they get to go to school, now they go into school for ball. Sure, they can get $1 million contract from an NIL contract or whatever. That'll be more than their WNBA contract, but they can force this can now force the WNBA to raise the price in salaries. Just the NIL alone, because it's like, well, you know what? I'm not gonna go to play in your league. Like, fuck your league. You guys don't pay nothing. I'm not gonna leave college early to come to the WNBA. I'm gonna go over, you know what I'm saying? They'll stay in college longer, possibly figure out what they want to do with their life after basketball. If they want to go to the WNBA, they could go to the WNBA. But it's like the money that they made from the NIL can set them up for their future that they don't have to go play in the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? So they can make these investments. They can do smart investments. They can make their money work for themselves. They can start to become owners in companies and broaden their financial horizon.
And show there's more to life than playing.
And just playing ball. Top of it. Like, I don't got to do this wear and tear on my body no more for 4 years. I can go to school here, make some cash, get some good money,
and genuinely enjoy it.
Get some cash on the side, and then do what I want to do. What? The WNBA. We can just make some money alone. I was like, we don't got to go there. We don't got to hurt ourselves no more. We don't got to do this. It'll force the WNBA to really rise their prices and salary. It'll force that salary cap to rise because these players are now going to know their worth. If I'm getting $1 million sponsorship deal while I'm in college, why would I not be able to sign for $1 million contract in the WNBA? It'll force that. It should force it. If it doesn't, I just think that, that WNBA is cheap. But the NIL is definitely, I think it's benefited these athletes. I think it'll put colleges in a better space where now it's like, you know, these athletes don't got to worry about not eating no more. Because there's been times where we've all been broke college students before, where you got $10 in your account, you got to wait till like next week. You calling mom and dad to send you $100 to put in your account for you real quick so you could get something to eat, and you just like, it's hard. And it's like, you know, I don't understand how people who've gone to college or, you know, have sent their kids to college, how you can say, oh, these athletes don't deserve to be paid. They're spoiled brats. Oh, they don't deserve this. Like I had to pay my way through school. Bro, you just didn't play a sport. That's okay. You didn't make that decision. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? But don't knock them for doing something that they love to do and with their ability, that the ability God gave them to do and do well. Don't knock them for that because you can't do it and you can't get to that level. It's okay that we're not all meant to play at that Division 1 level or the Division 2 or the Division 3 level. We're not meant to. Some of us are meant to just play in youth. Some of us are meant to just play up to high school. Some of us are meant to play in collegiate. Some of us are meant to go to pros. We're not all built the same. And I think everyone needs to accept like everyone's differences and just like where we're at. And it's like, it's not ever called settling. It's just like, yo, being at peace with yourself and like, you know, understanding where you're at and then just like putting your best foot forward every single time. That's all it takes is like, you know, just doing that.
Dude. And there's no reason why you can't do that. There's no reason why anyone can't do that. And we believe in you. Don't let this cruel, tough world bring you down. Fight against it. And more times than not, you'll get through it.
Definitely. I think people just need to realize, like, you know, it's all on self and what you view as yourself, as your self-worth. There's times that I was told I was too cocky. It was just like, bro, I wasn't cocky. I just had enough confidence in myself to know, like, I didn't care what was the situation was. I'm going to bet on myself. If I can't bet on myself, who's going to bet on me? You know what I mean? Like, if you don't believe in yourself, who else? Why would the next person believe in you if you don't even believe in your own abilities and your own capabilities? You gotta believe in yourself. If you believe like in your whole heart that, you know, you're the best or whatever the case may be, is like you want to be the best, you gotta just put that effort in. You gotta go for it, and you gotta put your feet forward and just keep trucking at it. It's at the end of the day, it's gonna be a whole bunch of naysayers where people don't understand. Like, think about it. Everyone hates the top dog in every sport. Everyone hates Alabama. Everyone hates Tom Brady. Everyone hates the Yankees. Everyone hates, you know what I'm saying? Everyone hates LeBron and the Lakers.
Yep.
We just hate the best. Why? I don't know why. We just live in a society where it's like we're so okay with wanting to not accept excellence. We like to see mediocrity. We like to see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We
not envy it. We're jealous of it.
We're jealous of excellence. When it comes to, like, I think in life, if you pursue excellence, you'll get that. If you pursue mediocrity, you'll get mediocrity. How are you gonna, like, it's literally like how you live life. Like, how are you expecting to, you know, make $1 million, but you didn't wake up today and try to make $1? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Every dollar counts. You can't just say, oh, I want $1 million, bro. You don't know how to make $1. The start goal is to learn how to make $1. Because once you learn how to make $1, that $1 multiplies. That's all it is. You just got to learn how to make $1. Then you get to that million. But if you can't figure out how to just make that $1, you won't get to that million. And there's no one's going to come here and drop $1 million sack of money on you and just be like, here's your $1 million. No. You got to grind for it. The same way that they get paid these $1 million, there was times they were up 5 a.m. in the gym, taking those jump shots, dribble drills, running sprints. While we're asleep, they're up, getting to it and going at it. That's the difference. Is they're striving for excellence while some of us are striving for mediocrity, and we push for people to be mediocre. I don't think we push for people to be excellent anymore in life. I think it's like the way that we just push each other to be is like, it's okay if you don't win. Like, it's okay if you get it, like, you get in last place. Like, it's okay to go, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I swear, I'm telling you, like, I think that's why I had, like, a lot of issues with, like, in high school with, like, my coaches. It was just, like, we were pushed to be mediocre. And it's just, like, and I had a bad attitude. My attitude issue was, I'm not okay with being mediocre. I'm not okay with playing bad week in, week out. I'm not okay with it. And it's, like, I wasn't a bad teammate about it. It's just like, you know, I just have a certain level of excellence that I want to reach, and it's like it'll come out as frustration if, like, I'm trying to give my all and everyone else is not, like, on that same type of wavelength and on that same type of page where it's like, yo, it's not that I don't think you're not good. I think you're actually good. I think you're great. It's just that, are you willing to put in that work, and are you willing to go that extra mile to get there? And then for someone, it's just like, all right, you're pushing too hard. It's just like, I don't think I'm pushing too hard, because it's like, I'm going way harder than what you going. I know you can go harder than that. And I know we can go harder. But it's just like, when you're told like it's okay to lose, it's not okay to lose.
No,
Actually, it is okay to lose. It is okay to lose. It is okay to lose. It's not okay to not want to win.
Yes.
That's where
that's
it's
a
not
better
okay
way
at.
to. It's okay to fail and fall down, but it's not okay
It's
to give up on yourself and fail
want.
yourself.
Exactly. It's okay. So it's not okay to not want to actually be the best. It's not okay to not want to win. It's just not okay. If you automatically wake up with that mindset where it's like, oh, it's okay if I lose today. No, that is not okay. That is not okay. You cannot wake up with that mindset of losing. Is just like, it's okay for me today. Nah, not on that aspect. No, it's okay if you woke up today and you put your best foot forward, and you still came up short today. That's okay, but you still came with that energy and that want and that effort to want to win and want to go forward and want to do better. But you just can't have that mindset where it's like, all right, I'm okay with being mediocre, and this is how life is just gonna be. I'm gonna roll with the punches. Nah, there's gonna be times in life where you gotta punch back. You can't be a punching bag. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I think once we get to that point where or it's I won't say we. It's like, I think I just want your listeners to know, like, it's okay, if you're struggling with things right now in life, you're young, even if you're old, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Age really doesn't matter when success finds you. Success finds you at your own pace and your own time. You can't look at what everyone has going on in their life, because, not everyone's happy in their life. So you can't just base your happiness based off of what you see on social media posts, what you see, basically what your friends say or what your parents say or whatever. You kind of got to find that internal happiness amongst yourself, and you got to kind of just, hunker down and just tell yourself, like, all right, today's the day I'm going to get better. And if you get better 1% every day, you're accomplishing big goals, man.
You will, and you can make it happen. And Tomar, you've been giving me gold this whole show. So many great highlights and sound bites, man. You have one great head on your shoulder. And thank you for coming on, man. There's just one last thing we have to do that I end off every first appearance of the show. And Tomar, I hope you want to come back on, especially for this football season. Would love to talk football all around with you.
Oh, you already know, bro.
Especially in the collegiate level too, man. This has been great. And please tell Mark I said what's up, and your brother Clifford, and have them tune in. And anyway, I can help my listeners get to know about InformStats. That would be
guys,
really great.
I'll let you know our Instagram and stuff. So you guys can follow us at _InformStats on all platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. I think we have a Pinterest. If you guys want merch, we got t-shirts, polos, sweatpants, hats. And if you're an athlete, parent, coach, player, tap in with us. We'll come out wherever you are across the country. We travel, we'll make it there. Trust me, we've been everywhere and anywhere. Just look into us. If you're excited, if you're up and coming players, we have training sessions in the off season for you. We can connect you with trainers, individual coaching, individual trainings for position specific players. Like football, if you're a D lineman, we have D lineman coach, O-line coach, running backs coach, receivers and quarterbacks coaches, DBs, all that. We work with all trainers. Same with basketball, we have guard specific and big man specific coaches, and AAU programs that we can connect you with. If you want to play on different AAU levels, we can connect you with these AAU teams. So we're just like, we're trying to turn this into a giant conglomerate within the sports world. Youth sports is, I don't know if you know, is $1 billion industry.
Oh, so, yeah, especially now.
Exactly. And so we basically just trying to get our footing in it. And like I said, like, we're just young, ready to go. We're available all the time. If anybody's ever interested, check us out on informstats.com as well. Like I said, social media _InformStats, all one word. And just give us a follow and just look out for us. We're coming.
Yeah, we're so excited to see what the journey brings you. So this last part, I'm going to ask you 10 questions, short but deep questions. And Tomar, with the gray head on your shoulders, I'd love to hear your perspective on this stuff. So you ready to do this?
Yeah, shoot.
Let's do it, man. And we've been at it for hour 45 minutes. Hasn't felt like more than 20 minutes. That's how you know this was a great show, man. I just want to put that out there.
I appreciate it.
All right. My first question for you on the Proust questionnaire is, what's your favorite word?
My favorite word?
Yeah.
Right now, goofy.
Goofy. That's a first one. I like
all right,
that.
so I'm gonna tell you why. I'll tell you why I say
Why is that?
So, like when someone pisses me off, right? I'm saying like, "Oh, I fucking hate you, whatever." I'm trying to cut down on cursing. I'm like, "Oh, you're a goofy. You're goofy. You're goofy." And it kind of gets the person mad because you're like, "What? I'm not a goofy." You know what I'm saying? Nah, you a goofy. That's my favorite word right now because call someone a goofy.
Yo, I'm gonna steal that from you for a little bit. See how that goes. I definitely know some people need to be called goofy.
Goofy, exactly.
And they literally act like that. I mean, shit. Number 2 is what's your least favorite word?
Cumbersome.
Cumbersome. Very
Yeah,
formal.
the reason why is because like one of my old supervisors tried to use that. I'm like, cut it out. Like it's like, oh, this is starting to become very. I don't know what it was. I think I didn't respond to him in an email, but it was just like, you know how sometimes you work in those settings where it's like you have a supervisor who's like overzealous. They're so like they're so much big headed that about it.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like to shit on people, but it's just like I was just like, bro, I don't see myself being here long term and giving myself to the company like that. Where it's like you have sold your soul to the company. It's like you want me to sell my soul to them too, and it's just like I'm not for that. I'm not here for that. Like, and you're trying to push like this narrative on me, like I gotta give myself to the company. Where it's just like, no, like I'm not doing that. Like. It took you 10 years to get to this position. So you were here for 10 years just to get to this managerial role? Bro, kiss my ass. I'm not doing it. So that word has always stuck with me, and I've never liked that word ever since.
Look at that, dude. Look at that. My third question for you. Now, I say this isn't a sexual question, even though some people have dirty mind to think when I ask that, they think of that kind of stuff, but this is more of a life and fulfillment question. But what turns you on in this world?
I would say probably a drive to success, and like my parents, coming from Haiti, being so like that just drove me a lot. I always wanted to just do more for myself and just do more within life. So I think it's like my parents and just just the pride that they raised me and my brothers with, and like just to have the ability to, like, just don't take no for an answer. Like if you feel like you can achieve something, just because one person said no and like one door closed, that doesn't mean all your options are closed. There's still a way around it. You can always go around someone. Whether if you got to go around someone, hey, go around them. If you got to go through them, go through them. If not, just find a way through. So I think it's just like internal success is what wakes me up. I would say it's like the way my parents raised me is what specifically my dad, like the way my dad moved around, like, and how he just like how he raised us. Like he's like, yo, I didn't come to this country. He always said, I didn't come to this country for you guys just to be average. You know what I mean? I came to for you guys to be successful, for you guys to do great things. So to me, it's like when he said that, I always would like. I never understood it until I kind of got older. Like I think I was like my sophomore year in school. And it just popped up back in my head because he said it to me when I was in high school. He was like, I didn't come to this country for you to be average. I came for you to be successful and be great. And I was just like, I see what you're talking about now, because it clicked for me. It clicked. So I think it is that. I think it's my parents is what turns me on to be successful, or what that's where my force or my energy comes from when it comes to being successful.
Now that's a great story right there. Hear you there, loud and proud. What turns you off in this world?
Laziness. Seeing people be lazy. Just like even myself, when there's days where I'm lazy, it does turn me off. Where it's like it's not healthy. I think just laziness in general is just like something that turns me off. Like if you're a lazy person, I really don't want to be around you or associated with you, have anything to do with you. I think that's probably my thing that turns me off is like just laziness.
I could hear you on that. That's me too in agreeing. That's not me being lazy. That's me agreeing. I hate laziness the most. We have too much of a life
Just to
to
just to be
not be
stagnant,
lazy. Damn
just to be
straight.
stagnant and lazy. Yeah.
Not about that, man. We're about being above average. Different is the thing to be. And with that, what sound or noise do you love, Tomar?
Like as a collective sound, or as a like what do you mean like sound?
Yeah, like it could be, like the sound of a basketball dribbling, or the sound of birds chirping, or like the way I'd answer that, I love a loud crowd. That's my personal favorite. The roar of a loud crowd. The roar of a loud crowd.
So for me, I would probably say this is weird, but all right. So boom, like in football, right? There's just like this that used to be my favorite part of like the season, like when it gets to like that fall season,
Mm-hmm.
and like you got your helmet on or whatever, and it's kind of cold, and you could hear the wind coming through like the holes or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite sound. It puts me at ease. Like
Mm-hmm.
that really used to like put me at ease. Like when I used to go to get ready for practice, it'd be a windy day or a nice chill day or whatever, and you get that breeze through your ear hole, and like you just kind of hear the winds pass by, and you feel it too, and it's yeah.
Classic.
That's like the best noise or like the best sound I think I could come up with, like, or the best feeling that I probably would ever like I've experienced. Like I miss that so much when it comes to like football, but like that's one of the things I was always say. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna miss this right here. It's like just putting the helmet on and then feeling that wind come through your ears. Like I don't think too many players. If you a player, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But if not, like it probably sounds crazy, but trust me, only football players know what I'm talking about.
Good answer. Good answer. What sound or noise do you hate?
A screechy chalkboard, like that scratch noise on the chalkboard.
Right before we were at West Rocks before they put the smart boards in for most classes, stuff like that. That
used to drive me crazy, yo. That used to drive me crazy. I couldn't concentrate in class because of that noise. And I think my teachers probably thought I was bad or I had some issues, but it was just like I did not like that noise. The way it sounded just made me irk so much, and I just couldn't take it.
Shouts to technology for not needing those anymore.
Yo, for real. Shout out to the kids who never had the chalkboards in class, man. You're a smart board baby. Shout out to
you. What's your favorite curse word?
I don't know. Son of a bitch.
I usually get fuck, and I like a different answer. So good one on that.
Cause son of a bitch is funny.
Yeah, this son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, it's kind of funny. It is.
Say that you're pissed off at a restaurant. You gave me the wrong meal, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I think it would be that.
What profession, or the many professions you got right now, other than your own, would you like to attempt?
I would like to do sports agent.
Ooh, I think you'd be great. You'd be a great negotiator right there.
I kind of would like to get into sports. I don't know if I want to do it. Yeah, but if I had the opportunity to go back and learn and whatever, choose that as take a class or just learn a little bit more about it.
Yeah, representation.
Sports representation. Being a sports agent, I definitely would go that route. It looks cool. And one is like, you get to negotiate because these agents is getting these players paid.
Yeah, and endorsement deals too.
What's the name signed a crazy number deal? What's the dude from the Celtics? Robert Williams?
Oh yeah, the 58 million.
58 million.
I didn't know who he was. The center.
Damn, he just signed a bag.
He's like a backup center.
Yeah, so million. Like, yo, shout out to the agents. That's who's really closing out these deals. It's the agents. I'm looking at some of these numbers. I'm like, shout out to his agent. That's who we need to shout out is the agent. Because it's just like, I don't know how they're getting these bags for these players, but they are getting these players some bags. And I feel like I could do that for somebody. I could get somebody. Yeah. I get somebody. If Robert Williams could get $100 million, get a 54 whatever $100 million a year contract, man, I know I can get somebody some money. I know I can negotiate and get somebody some good money.
it's never too late, man. And you've also are seeing some of these agents becoming GMs now, like a Leon Rose for the
Yeah.
Knicks. You
Mm-hmm.
had Brody Van Wagenen for the Mets, even though he sucked and he's not the GM anymore. But still, there's a great avenue where representation is taking people now.
Mm-hmm.
What profession would you not like to do?
Man, that's a tough one. I don't know. I probably wouldn't be a cop. Yeah, I wouldn't be a cop.
No cops.
Too stressful.
For
Too
real.
stressful of a job. I'm straight on that. And
Especially this decade.
yeah, people are assholes and it's too much going on in the world. I wouldn't be a cop. I think that's probably the one I wouldn't be. Yeah, I wouldn't be an officer.
Fair enough. And my final question for today, Tomar, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
My son, you made it in. Welcome home.
Look at that. Tomar Joseph, you gave us one of the best episodes of this show ever. You put the productive conversations. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there any final words?
To everybody, just keep pushing. It's a pandemic out here. Mask up. I don't care if you got a vaccine or not. If you don't have if you're anti-vaxxer, whatever, I'm cool. I'm happy for you. Just don't bother these people that's outside wearing the mask and getting vaccinated up. Let people be who they are. Enjoy people for who they are. And just enjoy life. Like, let's stop being so mean to each other. Life is short. We just gotta come together and, let's just be happy for one another. You know what I'm saying? Let all this jealousy and stuff go away. If you got any hate tells anybody, drop the hate, pick up some love, call somebody, tell them you love them. If you haven't spoken to them in a long time, you know what I mean? Just be happy for your peers and just be happy for what life has given you. And, it's always a better day tomorrow. So think about that. Always could change your outcome in life, wherever you're at in life. It's always a positive outcome. Look positive towards life and, positive things start happening. So that's pretty much it. Live a life full of positivity and just try to be positive as much as you can. There's going to be days that'll be rough, but like I said, just look to be positive and, positive things will start to happen. Or, even if they don't, just look at the positive side of life. You're still breathing, you're still alive, and it's another day that you have a chance to do better.
You're a real one, Tomar. Thank you so much for coming on. I can't wait to do this again.
Yeah,
and
definitely. Let me know, man, about the next session. Let's do a part 2, man. I'm definitely down.
Oh, I'm down for 3, 4, 5 after that too. You were amazing on it, Tomar. Can't wait to continue this conversation again soon. Caps off to you, Tomar. Thank you so much, my friend.
All right, Matt.
All right, have a great night. Tomar Joseph, everybody.